How's it going, everyone? It's Johnny Beard here with another episode of the Streamer Stories podcast, and my guest today is the awesome Various Ominous Drones. There he is.
Oh,
How you
hey,
doing?
not bad at all.
Oh man, such a
Not
great.
yourself?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's so good to have you here. I
Oh
love your
yeah.
streams, man. You're so good. You're so cool. So
It's been a long time coming, man. I'm glad that we're finally actually sitting down here and getting this. This is cool.
yeah,
Just
no, it
having a
is.
chat. It's really weird because you have like relationships where it's like talk to you and it's just Johnny Beard. What you've typed in the chat. So it's weird where it's like I'm actually talking to you. I can see your face. We're having like a dialogue. It's cool, man. It's not like
Yeah,
it's underrated.
yeah, it is. And like we said, just obviously chewing the fat before, we were just talking about I can talk to you on my streams, or you can talk to me on your streams, and it's not the same as this. This is
That's the divide. Like you can't see my reaction. Definitely, Ben.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks so much for being here. So yeah, to people who don't know, do you want to tell us who you are? Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm a Various Ominous Drones. I am a Scottish Resident Evil challenge runner and horror streamer. That's a lot. I'm a lot of things. I'm dynamic that way, I suppose. But yeah, I basically just play tons of Resident Evil. I do no damage challenge runs where I try not to get hit. I'm okay at that. And my main passion is just horror games. So if you like any of that, that's basically all I stream. It's great. I love it. I wouldn't change anything for the world. So
Awesome, man. Awesome.
yeah.
Okay, but that's now. So we're going to go back to the beginning. So yeah, so what was your first memories of playing games when you were a child, or did you have games memories as a child? I'm sure you did.
I thought this through so hard. I'm gonna pull the weirdest thing, right?
Okay.
Was a game, pretty sure it was for the CD-ROM, called Noddy Playtime Adventures, right? Don't know if
Okay.
you remember nodding.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was my first ever like horror experience with a game, right? So it's basically like you're in like Noddy Town. I actually don't even remember what it's called because I think I was like 5 years old at the time or something. It's like you're in Noddy Town, you go to different locations and you get little mini games. One of the mini games is set in like jail cell where Noddy has to like dig underground to escape the jail. Halfway through that, the policeman starts chasing you. There you go. That's how I became a horror streamer. This terrifying thing that I played when I was like 5 is exactly why I'm like this now. So that's a weird pull. Anybody I've mentioned that to is when I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it. It's like apparently it scarred me for life. I'm
Yeah.
scarred. Uh,
You know
that's
what?
it. That's basically the first. That's the one that I remember. Apart from like your Mario's and stuff, like I kind of vague recollections of that kind of thing.
That's fascinating. But you know what? I have a kind of a similar story. I've never mentioned this on this podcast, believe it or not, even though I've spoken to so many people. But like one of my furthest memories was I was in school. I must have been like, yeah, I don't know, year 2 or something like that. So maybe seven,
God.
6 or 7. And they got the classroom got the PC because it was the mid to late 90s.
Oh my
And
God.
there was this game, and it's like one of those like adventure games where you can go forward, left, or right, and
Uh,
it's like an adventure game. And I can't remember anything about like titles or anything like that. But when I played that, there was one like pathway I took, and I found this witch, and she's like obviously
wow.
had the warts and all that stuff, and I had to run away. And I got so scared, and I didn't play it anymore. And that scarred me mentally for life. So it's not quite noddy, but I mean,
See, if you were to go onto like I don't know, like a Reddit thread, like a Reddit that's like I can't remember what this game's called. If you were to describe that, I guarantee you somebody would be able to identify that quickly, and then you'd know the thing that scarred you. It would just be a
yeah,
nightmare.
that's an
I'm
idea.
glad that that everybody apparently has one experience with video games that has scarred them emotionally for life.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like I definitely.
Oh man, that's
Oh
awesome though.
man,
So
I
I
like how we're
mean,
both sitting here just like, damn, been thinking about some shit. Like,
yeah.
wait, am I allowed to swear? I probably should have
Yeah, man.
asked before I.
No,
Oh,
of
good
course you
stuff.
can.
Right,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
This is
definitely.
going to be a lot harder if I can't. 'Cause, from Scotland means that I'm kind of like set in my ways, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I would never,
Um,
I would never put you through that.
I'll be just like, oh my gosh, I'd have to go full Ned Flanders mode if I want to get through it. You
Yeah,
know?
just say diddly all the time. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so in terms of like, dare I say, controversially proper gaming? I don't know. How dare you slag off Noddy like that? But I mean,
Yeah.
what are your first like forays into video gaming that you recall in terms of proper game titles? I
Really?
suppose.
I don't know if it's just like the last couple of years have just kind of like affected how I like relate to time. I really had to think hard about like what would I have played back then?
Hmm.
I think I remember playing like like Mario on the SNES, stuff like that. I have memories of that, but they're just so distant now. One of my like prevalent memories was when I was like I must have been 8 years old when I played RE2 for the first time.
Okay, yeah.
That was basically like, right, there we go. I'm a lifelong Resident Evil fan. Like that's it. Like yeah, very cliche answer because I'm a Resident Evil streamer, but one
No.
of my proper ingrained memories is definitely like playing RE2 for the first time back in like 1998 or something. Oh damn, like,
Yeah.
stuff.
What were your first memories into that though? How scared were you? What were the jump scares that got you the most?
Oh right, so here's the story behind that. It's like an origin story of me like playing Resident Evil for the first time. Obviously, I was like 8 years old. I should not have been playing that game, but my cousin brought it over to let me play it, and I did not get past the first street. I didn't get to Kendo's like gun shop.
No.
It was literally no, I can't play this. No, I can't do it. I'm or like I'm 8, so I was probably like screaming or whatever. But then like a year or two later, I saw Night of the Living Dead for the first time, and then I was like, oh, I remember playing Resident Evil when I was a little young. Oh, and then bam, there you go. Uh, the love of my life, like Resident Evil and zombies. The rest is history. So those are like
Yeah.
prevalent memories: Noddy, Mario, and Resident Evil.
The Horsemen of the
I
Apocalypse, yeah.
Yeah, the best. What's the opposite of the Horseman of the Apocalypse? Like just Horseman,
Yeah.
Horseman of the Optimistic, I guess. Like
Yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I definitely.
But I kind of remember again a similar story to that. Because I think I remember I didn't play Resident Evil but myself for a few years later, probably about 99, 2000, 2001 maybe. But I had a friend who lived across the road from me that played Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 like almost at the same time. And I remember him getting to that street, like you mentioned Kendo's shop. He somehow got through
Literally
the
the first
street.
street, like
Yeah. And he got to the end of it, didn't go into the shop, and then waited for the zombies to come towards him and got killed. So it's like, and obviously all he had to do was turn around. But,
it's kind of weird that it's like it's almost like a conquering a fear thing because like that truly scared me back then. Like it was a foundational like memory that I have, and now it's like oh I literally just run through it every other week for fun on stream. Just it's like such a nothing thing to me now. But it has that core like it's a huge part of my life, I guess, or a huge part of me like growing up. It's like oh okay. I mean, how many years later is it now? Resident Evil's been around for like what, 25 years now? 26?
Yeah.
Like been around for like 24 of them, which is awful to think about. Let's not talk about that. Like
no, it's scary.
like
'Cause again, I've been speedrunning Resi 2, as I said to you earlier, and like I'm finding still things out now that I'm like, how did I not know this like 20 years ago? Like I've been playing this game for so long, and I'm still finding out stuff.
the best bit though. And
Yeah.
isn't it? It's kind of like the way that people talk about like Dark Souls now, where it's like, or like that Souls games, it's like, oh, we found a secret. It was like a community thing. Everybody kind of chips in, and then you find a secret. It's like, and Resi's been like that as well. People kind of like unearth things about these games that are really interesting and cool, and it's probably why the series has such like longevity, why it's stuck around for 25 plus years, where a lot of things, like Silent Hill or whatever, just haven't really
No.
outside of nostalgia.
Yeah, true. So you played on the SNES, you played on the PlayStation 1. Any other titles that come to mind that you played back in the day?
Nightmare Creatures, which is I feel fond memories of it, but I played it recently and it was not
No.
good. So that's sad. Just a lot of PlayStation 1 things, like Croc, Spyro, all that kind of stuff. Like I was always a console kid.
Yeah.
The PC that I had back in those days would struggle to run like Encarta or something like that. And it's like and that has carried on for multiple years now. I have a good PC that I used to stream. Still play consoles whenever I can because I just prefer it. I prefer controllers.
Yeah.
I prefer not having to fight things to get them to work.
Yeah.
It's been my experience with PC gaming.
Yeah, same. I'm a console gamer at heart, and like even when like I play a PC game, I'm like, please have a controller. Please have a controller. And if it doesn't, a large groan will come out of my mouth whenever I can't.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh yeah.
no.
Oh god, yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do. You know, it's like muscle memory. I've been playing console so long that whenever I have to stream a PC game, you should see like I can't do the hand movements.
No.
I can't. It's so embarrassing when I play PC games. But sometimes a lot, especially with horror games on like Steam, they just do not have controller abilities, and it's like I have to suffer a little bit just to get it to work. But
Definitely.
it's fine.
Especially indie horror games, I've noticed that as well. I'm like, no.
Oh yeah, I mean, to be fair, they probably got like tiny teams that like
Yeah.
3 people made the game. Like, you know, it's pretty hard. Hard to do things.
But, all right. So from PlayStation 1 SNES, I mean, what are we going with? Did you go to PlayStation 2?
Yeah, oh yes, absolutely. I was really lucky. Like, I was a kid. I don't know how I even managed it. Managed to get like PS2, GameCube, and Xbox at the same time. So I was just juggling all that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which is why you can see behind me, I've just got like a pretty good collection. I just never throw anything away. Just keep it forever, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
It is an enviable collection, that's for sure. It's much better than mine. I'm not even going to show you mine. I'm ashamed.
My wife used to hate my guts because we used to live in this really tiny flat, and it was basically like couch, television, and just like these 2 shelves just in a corner, all the games, and it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, we've got to have to treat it like a storage closet. Like, they can't go anywhere else. There's so many of them. Like, where am I supposed to put them? Yeah, just a shelving unit in the corner with just video games. But now, I've got my own little space. I'm tucked away now. She doesn't have to see all of the video games and the nerd stuff.
Oh, that's so cool. And I missed. I had to sell a lot of my stuff, unfortunately, at one point, about 10, 15 years ago. I was gutted. But I'm starting to slowly claw it back now. But yeah.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do with that,
Yeah.
though. I was the same about. That's when I got like into university or something. I was like, oh my god, I need funds like right now. What can I do without? And I did sell off a lot, but luckily it was kind of stuff where it's like, kind of moved on from that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
I've kept what I would consider the essentials, you know, for like lack of a better word, I guess.
No, it's cool. It's cool. So yeah, some PlayStation 2 memories. Did you go PlayStation 3? Where did you go from there?
PS2, like Metal Gear Solid 2, which is the best. Devil May Cry, which is the best. I remember games as well. Like, I've got this really like in-depth, like. I wish I applied it to something better, but I have like a part of my brain that's just like, right, remember weird, like obtuse RE, like PS2 games and stuff? There was a game called Eve of Extinction for the PS2, which I have very fond memories of. A game that many people will never remember or care about, but I remember, which is cool. Yeah, I don't know, just ton of games, you know. Like,
what's that about, then?
PlayStation 3. A very good unique selling point, actually. It's a game. It's like a beat 'em up. I don't know if you played The Bouncer.
I haven't, but no, I've seen it.
Know of it though.
Yeah.
Like that, but with lightsabers. Every weapon is like a variation of a lightsaber.
Okay.
It's not great. Or at least I imagine that it's not aged well. But I've got like fond memories of it playing it when I was like a teenager or whatever. You know.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think everyone's got at least one game where they go, I play this, and everyone goes, no. No.
I pride myself on that.
Yeah.
I've got so many games that people are just like, what is that? Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Just never throw anything away. It just has to stay on the shelf.
Yeah.
It has to be like, I want to be in like 20 years' time, like, oh, I'm the guy that owns Never Dead for the 360, a game that nobody's played or has heard of. It's like, I own that game. It's my cross to bear because that game is really bad, but that's what I want. Like,
yeah, but sometimes they're the best though. Like I remember one game I really wanted to get my hands on was arguably one of the worst games ever made. I don't know if you ever went on like GameSpot or anything like that, but there was a game called Big Rigs Over the Road Racing that they gave like a 0 or a 1 out of 10, like the worst.
Never heard of that.
It was
Rigs.
It is the worst game ever made, and there's they made it like a review video of this person playing it, and it was so buggy and all sorts. And they literally finished the review video walking into the road and lying down.
Google that, 'cause that sounds
yes,
great.
definitely watch it. It's so funny. But after watching that review, I always wanted to just get my hands on it. You cannot find it anywhere.
I guarantee you there is a charity shop somewhere and there's a copy of that game in that charity shop.
I'm waiting for
It's
it,
just
mate.
sitting there, completely untouched, like Indiana Jones or something. It's just
Yeah.
gathering dust. A charity shop somewhere.
Oh
Like this
man,
hidden gem.
good times, man. Yeah, they do. They hold such the most wonderful games and DVDs, don't they? To be fair.
Oh yeah, I always go like charity shop diving because you just don't know what they're sitting on a lot of the time. Like you'll find stuff and you're like, "This is actually worth something," or "This is actually like it's got value," you know. Like I went to a charity shop a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months, I think. I found a copy of Spider-Man for the PS2. You know the movie license game,
Yeah.
the Warriors, PS2 as well. And I was like, "Oh, how much do you want for this?" And she's like, "Oh, 50p each." I'm like, pretty good. I think if you bought them online, they'd probably be a little bit more than that. So, you got to find these things. You got to
Yeah.
source them where you can. Like,
Definitely. And just speaking about second-hand games, I suppose. Didn't you have a bit of an experience with Saw? Was it the Saw game?
I'm still having an experience with Saw. It is the
no.
bane of my existence. Right? It's such an odd thing, right? Because people in my community are like, "Oh yeah, drones. Like, heard Saw's good. I'd like to see you play it." And I'm like, "Sure, I can buy a copy of Saw." I'm on like Saw copy number 3. Every copy of Saw I buy doesn't work. Like, unfortunately I'm not made of like Saw money. Like,
No.
just work. So yeah, if you on the shelf, I've got like 3 copies of Saw. I've made a promise. The next copy I buy is either gonna work or I'm just never playing it. I'm just gonna give up.
Oh man.
I think like
Yeah.
3 or 4 strikes is more than enough time.
Do you
Guarantee
reckon-
you when I play it as well, it'll be like, "Oh, it's fine."
Do you reckon when you were asleep, to John Kramer went, "I want to play a game, Jones"? You got to find at least 4 copies of this game.
This is like lazy Jigsaw. Like you just
Yeah.
dumped me in a warehouse with no traps.
Yeah.
It's like, man, you're really phoning this in, Jigsaw. There's nothing here. Aye, that's my experience with Saw the video game.
Oh,
It's
man.
heartbreaking as well because like every disc I've bought, it's not even that it's like not working. It's like, oh no, the disc will not read. We'll plug it into the machine and it will black screen. And it's like I don't want to sacrifice my Xbox 360 for this game, you know? Yeah, one more try and then that's it. I'm giving up. Game better be good though. I've
Yeah.
heard good things. It better be like Sistine Chapel of freaking horror games if I'm gonna buy this shit
Yeah.
4 times.
Could be. It could be. I've
You know
never
the
played
scene
it.
in The Mask where Jim Carrey like throws the mask out the window?
Yeah, yeah.
It just kind of comes back in. That's Saw. I just can't get rid of it. I just can't get it to work. It's been an experience.
Oh man. But you know what? It's funny you mentioning about it as being a 360. I had a similar experience with Left 4 Dead 2, but that was when the 360 was like the most top console around.
Yeah, like the peak.
Yeah, so I think I went through 3 copies of Left 4 Dead 2. I mean, to be fair, one of them was my fault. Like I don't know. Well, you've got an actual 360 you're still using. I haven't used
I
one.
remember all of that.
But
Red
like,
Ring of Death.
oh yeah, the Red Ring of Death. Like just slightly touching the Xbox 360 laser burn. It was such a console at times.
This is not hyperbole. I swear everything I'm about to say is true. Over the 360 generation, I went through 8 360s. I lost 4 of them to Red Ring of Death. I lost 3 of them to some kind of like internal failure, and I lost like 2 of them to disk drive failure, where it basically would open or not close or not close and open. Only evidence that that's true is I sent one of them away. It came back without the Crackdown disc inside because it got jammed with it inside. I'm like, where's my copy of Crackdown, Microsoft? I want to play that game again. It's a good game. So I have a copy of Crackdown, and it's one of those promotional discs because they were basically like, oh, sorry, send you something out. And then I got like it's a blank disc that just says Crackdown promotional disc on it, and it's like, thank you, Microsoft.
No.
For like each of your consoles breaking. So yeah, my memories of the 360 are positive, apart from huge periods of time where I was just waiting for consoles to come back because they kept breaking. So times.
We've
Bad times.
we've given our 360 to our oldest. I've got 3 kids, so the oldest has got it. But yeah, you can't open the disc tray, so I literally have to get like a knife to like boom to get it out.
Getting like what's like the opposite of like a nostalgia flashback. This is like, oh god, I can't even think of that. I can't think of like 360 problems. It's just too much.
Let's move on then.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, just talking about Microsoft. I remember talking to Sony I very very briefly had a PSP. I didn't have it very long because it was half broken when I got it from a friend, and it didn't last long. And I went on the PlayStation Store and downloaded Crash Free onto it. And because the PSP controllers is not the same as the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 controllers, like I got through the majority of the game, and the last ability you unlock is like Super Speed Crash or something, I think it is.
Wow.
And there was no button for it. So I said to Sony, like, what are you going to do? I can't run fast, and you need to do that to get some like the time trials and stuff. And they were like, not our problem. I was like, well, you emulated it, and they're like, don't care.
This is your problem. You have sold me a thing.
Yeah,
the thing does not work. That's like textbook definition. Your problem.
Yeah,
like...
and then they sent me like an opinion survey. It was like, no, you didn't solve my problem. Bad review.
It's like the Wild West back in those days. Like, I feel like nowadays you could not get away with that because I would literally just like tag them in a tweet. Like, somebody would tag them in a tweet, everybody would complain about it, and it would go viral, and they'd be like, "Okay, we've solved it." But like back in the day, it's like, "No, you're nothing."
Yeah,
fair enough. Not gonna get fixed.
100%, man. Yeah, exactly the same way. So, do you have any
sorry, Silent Hill HD, like, like the old time. Yeah, like, can I have my money back, please? like Aliens Colonial Marines, like, oh, you just sold me like a faulty product. I have my money back, please.
I played Silent Hill HD version, but I didn't really pay much attention to all the cracks and stuff. I was just happy to play it again. Yeah. But then I went online, and that was it. Everyone was slamming, and I was like, I didn't even. Oh, now I get it.
See, I was like a proper diehard, so I was like, oh, I can play these games again. It's gonna be grand, and I had the most miserable experience because I'm just like, why does everybody sound like that? Why are the sounds broken? Why is like I still have my copy, by the way. It's like an eternal reminder. Yeah. Never let companies take advantage of nostalgia. I am nostalgia proof now. You cannot like take advantage of me anymore. I have that as the reminder. So I'm think that drones, that was 2012. Come on, man. It's been a decade. No. Nope. I'm going to carry this anger around for a long time.
You think 10 years is a long time? No.
Me again in like 30 years and I'll still be angry about it. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Be in the care home or something, and the grandkids will be like, why is Grandpa talking about Silent Hill HD collection? It's like, he never forgot.
Come on, Grandpa Jones. Come on, Grandpa Jones. Sit in your high back chair.
Silent Hill 36 now, you know. Like, we're playing Silent Hill 20. Catch up with the times.
So good. Oh, man. So, do you have any favorite video game memories with friends, family, growing up?
Kind of a mix. I'd say that like I'm more of like an alone gamer, but I do play a lot of like online multiplayer stuff with pals. So I guess it's like 50-50. Just, you know, I play games a lot alone. Play them with friends. Never with family though. I come from a family who just don't understand it. They just don't get it. You know? So it's kind of like, oh, okay, just this thing that I like. You know. Yeah. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I definitely have that with Twitch. Like, what's that Twitch thing you do? You play games for games. It's like the Gogglebox thing, isn't it? You know?
I've literally like nobody in my family knows that I stream because I'm not having that conversation with them where it's like just trying to explain the concept to them, you know. And it would make me feel really self-conscious if I was streaming and like my family were watching me at the same. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, I'm just disappearing every now and then and just not being able to contact me. It's like, cool. Yeah. Never explaining it to anybody. My sister knows. I think I told my sister. She like plays games as well, so it's like, kind of gets it, but never having that conversation with anybody else, like my gran or something. Like, what have you been up to, son? Play video games on the internet. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh man. So if you were stuck on a remote island and you could only bring 3 games with you, and you can play them online, you can play online games as well if you want, DLC, whatever, but you are stuck on the island, only allowed to play 3 games for the rest of your life on the island, what would they be and why?
Maybe this is recency bias. I'm going to say Elden Ring, just because I've been playing that game for like 100 hours, and it doesn't seem like it's going to end anytime soon, so I feel like I'd get a lot of like... I was on a desert island for a couple of years. I feel like I'd get my money's worth there. I could just play that for a couple of years. I'd be fine. The other 2 are not going to surprise anyone. Probably Ori 2 OG is on the island with me as well because I guarantee for a fact I know I can play that game for just hundreds of hours and never get bored. I think that would be the success to surviving the island, is having games that you know you're not going to get sick of after like a week.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The third one's probably like, I don't know, man. I just love Dead Rising 1.
Yeah.
Love that game. Just love playing it. I feel like that could keep me entertained on an island.
No, there's some good games. They're really good games. That, to be fair, like
Yeah.
I haven't played
Any
Dead.
Souls game could go on the island. You know, like Bloodborne could go on the island, I think.
Yeah, man. But Dead Rising 1, like that's a forgotten gem almost nowadays. People don't really talk about Dead Rising anymore.
I'm a pure diehard for it as well. I've got like my opinions about like the series of Dead Rising. Like, in my opinion, that original one is like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. If you watch me stream, you'll notice every couple of months I'll just play it, and it's not with any goal in mind. It's just love hanging out in that world and just murdering zombies with like baseball bats and chainsaws.
Yeah.
Just love it, you know. So yeah, I definitely would say that's an island game. That's something I don't have to worry about.
Yeah, man. No, good times. So, when you play games, do you play them for achievements, platinuming, trophies?
I used to be proper into that stuff. Like, I got like 100k a gamer score on the 360. The minute I'm sitting at like 92 or 93 platinums on PSN.
Wow.
But actually not as much as I used to be. I've kind of tapered off the last couple of years. I guess it's because a lot of my like free time, I stream, so I don't have time to like proper knock out like a platinum or whatever. So I used to be, but now I'm kind of just, the game really appeals to me. I'll go for it just because I like completionism. But I think the days of me being like actually into it, I kind of like just don't have the time for it. Just all of my spare time is just streaming or like working on the stream. You know, I don't have the time to grind anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah. Let's talk about that when it comes to like the Resident Evil games, especially the more modern ones, because like I mean I've platinumed Resi 2 and 3 remake, but not 7 or 8. So what are your thoughts on the more modern Resi games? Have you platinumed those?
Platinum them all.
Yeah.
I've got like a criteria where see if it's like a real grind or it would be unfun. I just don't do it. So like I don't have the platinum for like Veronica or Revelations 2 because it was one of those like, no, if I go for that platinum, I will hate the game and I will never want to play it again. But like RE1, 0, 2, 3 make, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got the platinum for those games because I'm like, yeah, I love them. I can play them a million times. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually I don't do it at the expense of fun. Ever. I don't want to compromise like my fun with the game just to get a trophy, you know?
Yeah, 100%. So what are you playing right now?
Elden Ring. Again, it's the game that never ends, honestly. Like, I play it and I play it and I play it, and it's just like another boss pops up or another area pops up. Usually, I never juggle games. I usually like to just commit to one thing. The nature of Elden Ring, where sometimes I'll play it for like 3 or 4 hours in one sitting, and it just feels like, oh, I don't feel like I made any progress. But at the minute, I'm juggling like 3 or 4 games. I just finished playing the Arkham series, like the entirety.
Okay.
I saw the Batman a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just like, I'm in Batman mode. I'm pure into Batman, so I'm like, I'm gonna play the Arkham games again. I finished Arkham Knight like a couple of days ago, and right now I'm playing Elden Ring, Cyberpunk 2077, and Ghostwire Tokyo.
All right.
So
Yeah.
juggling a couple of different things at the minute, but they're all been very good for like different moods that I've been in. Like, do I want a challenge? Elden Ring. Do I just want a vibe? Cyberpunk has been very good for that. The Ghostwire Tokyo, it's just a game that I've been looking forward to. Like, I love that studio's output. So just been kind of like immersing myself, and obviously as well, I've got like a lot of like emotional connection to like Japan. So just kicking around in open world Shibuya is definitely like winner. Only a winner for me.
I mean, it's crazy when I'll try and digest all 3 of those. But I mean, the first one, so Elden Ring, I still haven't mentioned this. So I love the fact that people are talking about their enjoyment of Elden Ring, and they're like, "Oh, I'm nearly finishing the game, but I've only got 23% of the way through it." But apparently, that's how big the game is. I've heard, because I've not played it. So
my friend was talking to me the other day, and he messaged me. He's like, "I finally finished it." I'm like, "What was your final playtime?" He's like, 210 hours. And I'm like, we're only at like the 80-hour mark or something, like the 80 to 100 range. And can you just tell me how far in I am? And he's like, you're over halfway. I'm like, What? I don't. Oh, man, game too big. And I
Yeah.
raided somebody yesterday, who's a very good streamer called Vin the Win. He was playing Elden Ring, and he was doing like a 24-hour stream, and he was like, "Drones, I need to show you something." Sure. Oh, this is my first playthrough, and I'm sitting at 310 hours, and I'm just like, surely by now you would be like sick to your stomach, you know? Like,
Yeah.
holy crap! Like having that kind of commitment, just wow. So I literally told one of my friends earlier today, like, I'm not playing that game for 300 hours or 200 hours. I feel like I would be really sick of it, so I'm gonna just keep going at my own pace and just keep
Yeah.
enjoying it, you know? Like, not gonna go full completionist just yet.
Yeah. Wow. God. I mean, in terms of because I'm a big RPG fan, so like I love Skyrim, and that's probably the longest I played on one game. So
Oh yeah.
I think I platinumed Skyrim in like 260 hours, um, and that's the longest game I've
You
ever
could play
played.
those games forever if you wanted to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's just always a cave, there's always something, there's the DLCs,
Yeah.
you know? You can play those games forever if you wanted to.
Exactly. That would be one of my island games for sure. Just for sheer longevity, and like I got through about 100 hours of Persona 5 Golden, and then I don't want to talk about that, but my data got wiped.
Everybody, I've never played Persona apart from Persona 5.
Yeah.
Everybody who I've ever talked to about Persona is just like, yeah, I spent like 1,000 hours on it. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk about it. And
No.
it's like, look of a good series, you just never want to talk about it ever again.
Yeah.
You wasted all your life and you don't want to talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I did about
With
100
like
hours.
Skyrim, I've got like a weird habit, right? I wouldn't say like I'm a massive Elder Scrolls fan, but I like playing them because they're really good worlds to just hang out in. I never play them at launch. I always wait 5 years after. I buy the Ultimate Editions with all the DLC, and then
Yeah.
I play through them for like 500 hours.
Yeah.
That's like my system. Never play a Fallout game at launch or an Elder Scrolls. I always wait 5 years later until it's like the summer and I'm bored, and I just beast them. Like,
Yeah, it's a good logic.
Good one, then.
But how many bugs do the games have on launch? I mean, yeah, it's
how
probably
many
a
bugs
great
do they
system.
still have after 5 years, though? To be fair,
Yeah, true.
Aye.
Oh man. Yeah. So, I mean, if you had to choose one game that would be your favorite of all time, what would it be?
Probably. It's gonna make like a joke answer where it's like after I've just talked about like
Noddy.
Resident Evil like 2 for ages. Like yeah, like probably like Be Adventures for the 3DS. Something about looking after kids. Just no, it's probably like RE2 original or something like that.
Oh,
Probably. It's either gonna be a Resident Evil of some variety or like Alien Isolation or like The Last Guardian. One of those games just gotta be Resident Evil. Like one of the like could I play that game half as much as I do if I didn't love it? Like it's gotta be that. You know, I play it for like thousands of hours a year on year, multiple years. So
Yeah.
it's a really boring answer, sadly, but it's
No.
the truth. It's just RE2. Love it.
Nothing wrong
Best
with
game
that.
of all time.
Oh man, it's my favorite. I love the remake as well, but the second one, that's the original. It's just it's just there.
But yeah, I think the remake is really good. Don't get me wrong, but that first game is just. It's like I was saying right at the start of the stream. I've just got such a like history with it, and a lot of my taste now is just directly informed from that experience. So yeah, it has like a really special place in my heart. You know, like
Yeah.
it's weird because I actually haven't played it on stream in a while. I'm probably gonna have to just bust it out just to kind of like do a playthrough.
Yeah.
I'll probably do that No Damage at some point. The
I was
original
going to say that
is-
actually. Have you done the No Damage OG trilogy?
Nope.
Yeah.
I've literally just done the remake trilogy because I've only been doing No Damage for like 4 months or something. But I will, I will do the original trilogy at some point. I will do 7. You know, like I have a plan for the year. I will get to it eventually. Just things take time. Like I think I was lucky. RE2 remake No Damage didn't take me long at all because I have such a history with the remake because I used to speedrun it as well. But it only took me like 2 or 3 weeks to get that done. 3 and 1 took me like a month apiece, like a month and a half each.
Yeah.
Because those games can be really mean and nasty when they want to be. But yeah, I've got a plan. Gonna do them all at some point. Gonna try and get everything done. Will be sooner it'll be later though, because the next thing that I'm gearing up to do, because I've done RE2 now, is I want to do RE1, 2, and 3 remake No Damage back to back in one sitting.
Wow. Yeah.
be an actual marathon like stress test. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Mark my words.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
If I don't do it, don't mark them and don't tell me about it. Just
Nope,
never.
nope.
This is not record. I didn't say it.
No, I shall cut this bit out
I'm
as well.
gonna get it done. I just had to get. Today's stream interview is 3 minutes long. Just it all got cut.
Yeah, it's just have narrator. He did not actually do it. You know.
Yeah. Tried, failed. We're not talking about it. Drone's lawyered up, sadly, and we cannot release this footage until 2052 or something.
There's come on, Grandpa Jones. Drones, come on. I did it. I did it.
Oh no, that's fine now. Stuff fine. He keeps talking about no damage.
Yeah, it's a very strange thing for an elderly gentleman to say, isn't it? No damage? Why do you keep saying no damage?
I done no damage. I done no damage.
Oh, maybe it was a band he was in the 80s.
They're just like, what is he talking about? Like, no damage. Save Eva. Like, what?
Oh, amazing, man. Amazing.
At that point, we'll be all hooked up to the Matrix. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So, is there like a worst game that you've ever played? Is there such a thing?
It's never dead. It's never dead. It's the word. Like, can you see I audibly sighed and like my whole demeanor? It's so bad. The history behind that's weird, right? I heard about it. I'm like, oh, like my kind of weird oddities. I like buying things that maybe people haven't heard of. Me and my friend at the time were just like, oh, it's like a fiver. How about this? We'll both chip in £2.50, so we're not both taking like the hit to buy this thing. In fact, never gave me the £2.50. I'm stuck with the game now. It's so bad, and its badness is really hard to like, without copious swearing, just talk about. Paper, if I was to describe it, it would sound very interesting and good. It's like a third-person shooter, where you can you can shoot your limbs off, and your limbs have autonomy. So like you can drop, like if somebody hits you, your arm will fall. If you hold the trigger, you'll still fire the gun, even though your arm's off. But it has a cool thing where, like, you know, in Metroid, you go into the morph ball and go into vents.
Right, yeah.
This game, you can sever your own head, roll your head into the vent, and then do puzzles. Fortunately, the game is nowhere near that good. It doesn't do anything interesting with any of this. It's so bad. Dialogue is awful. It's repetitive. It's the worst game I've ever played. It's so... The worst part as well is if you look at the credits, some really talented people worked on this game, and it just did not turn out well, unfortunately. So, never did. Right. Never play it. It's awful. This is a warning. Do not be like me. It's so bad.
Wow, no, I never heard of it. But you did sell it to me as well. It's a shame. It's a shame because
yeah. If you talk about it in like isolation of like, yeah, you can like rip your body parts off, and it's really bad. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Reminds me of a streamer stories chat I had with. I'll give him a shout out. Snooky Shogun. You might be familiar with him. He was talking about when he first played Resident Evil games that when he got bit, he thought when he was a kid that you can never use that arm again, like in a zombie. If you get your arm chopped off, don't you? If you know that type of thing. And again, that's
because the character in those games kind of hunches over as well.
Yeah, like, and you know what? Again, it's such a great, cool idea, isn't it? Which sounds similar to what you just said that game apparently does. Why isn't there a game like that?
Pretty funny though in Never Dead. So basically, it's like, you know, if you take a hit, your arm will fall off. But there's a stage where, like, if you've took enough damage, you'll have, like, no arms and no leg. So your character's just hopping on the spot, and you have to try and hop to your body. Again, it sounds funnier and more interesting than it is, though. It's truly a slog. So, missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, I still have a copy. So,
yeah,
like 30 years' time, I'll be the gaming historian expert on Never Dead. Game that I truly hate with every fiber of my being. It's awful.
It sounds like black. It sounds like black.
That.
Yeah, well,
I couldn't do that no damage. I'd be taking too much psychic damage. Like I'd be my mental would be getting murdered by that game. You know.
Well, tomorrow. This is obviously in May, but I mean, like tomorrow is April Fool's Day. You could stream it tomorrow.
Only fool would be me. Like, I'm open to doing things for like the fun and the memes, but I think this might be like the one thing where it's like it's too raw. Drones can't do it.
No.
Like, nah, it gets emotional about it. It's so bad. So goddamn bad.
Oh man. But no, the way you were describing before, it sounds like the Black Knight from Monty Python, you know, but less funny, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, way less funny. Like, not even at all. So bad.
Man. So, what made you think about streaming then? So, what was the things that made you think, you know what, let's give this a go? What's the origin story for that?
God, it's like Batman Begins or something.
Yes, went to a big cave.
It's a mixture of two things. The first thing is that about the time I started university, it's like, hey, you joined uni. Here's some money, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy some like capture equipment and a microphone. And at the time, it was a YouTube thing. I was just like, I'm gonna make some videos. Nobody's ever gonna see those videos. By the way, they are not good.
Okay.
So I did a little stint where I was like making YouTube stuff just for kind of like fun because I'm really passionate about games. Hopefully that shows in the stuff that I do. And then I kind of just uni's picking up. I got to focus on this now, and it kind of fell by the wayside. And then a couple of years ago, my friends in real life was like, "Ernst, why don't you stream? Like you're like got the gift of gab, man. You can talk. I'm sure you could do it." And I was like, yeah, like I've got that old capture card just sitting there, and I've got a microphone. I'm still using it, by the way. It's just an old Snowball from like 10 years ago. I've got all that stuff sitting there. Then yeah, go for it. I'm gonna do it. And obviously 2020 happened, and it's like, well, I've got
Yeah.
nothing else to do apart from just hit that live button. So yeah, the rest is history. It's just went really well from there. I've met a load of really cool people. I just love doing it. Just love interacting with people and playing games without taking hits, playing horror games, shooting the shit, having a laugh. Like,
Yeah.
eh. So
So
it was basically like a little bit of like, oh, I have all of the things I need already. A little bit of a nudge from a friend where they were basically like, why aren't you doing that? You should do it. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a try. And I love it. It's a insanely huge part of my life right now, like
yeah,
streaming.
yeah, man, that's awesome. So
The origin, that's the origin right there.
the origin story. So no Batcave then. So
It's kind of, I've got a cave-esque thing going on here,
yeah, it's a cool cave to be fair.
Less bats. I'm gonna say,
Sorry.
could edit this out, mate. I was gonna say, it's more of a twat cave than a bat cave. But what can I say? Like,
Yeah. Oh no, I can't. I,
Then,
can't. I don't know what I can say to that. I can't agree to that. I'm just be like, oh well, on the podcast, Johnny B calls drones a twat. I mean,
like, oh my god, pure ambush drones on his podcast. Ah man, that's just
someone's
funny.
just going to clip that there, aren't they? Someone's just going to go. Have you heard what he said? No. God.
Man.
What is the first game you played on stream then?
This was 2 years ago. It was weird, right? Because at this point I was just like trying to find my voice, I guess, if you want to call it that. So I played like Doom 3 and a game called Wolf Metal Chaos. Oh no, wait, Metal Wolf Chaos? I don't know if you've heard of it. It's cool.
No.
It's a cool game. It's like this weird Japanese mech game. You play as the president of the United States mech suit. It's it's really hard to do it justice. Like if you're interested, Google it. There'll be cutscenes on YouTube. Very funny game. Yeah, I don't know. At the time, I was just kind of like work it all out. Just what I wanted to do with streaming, what I wanted out of it. So I just kind of fucked around with that kind of thing. So yeah, I played those, and then after a while, I was like, don't I just play Resident Evil? It's like the only thing that I actually like really love. So obviously, it gravitated towards that after a while, and then the rest is kind of just history, I guess. Like
Yeah. So, did you have a cam setup? And microphone, you said you had pretty much all the gear. So,
I only had the capture card and the microphone. For a while, I did not have a camera. It was one of those things where I'm really weird like that. Like sometimes you have to just tell me to do something, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I probably should do that." So after a while, people were like, "Jordan, you should get a camera. You should get a camera." And I'm like, "I want to be on camera," and then I did, and it's like, cool. I feel like way more comfortable in front of it than I did 2 years ago.
yeah.
Then I just kept on upgrading, kept on trying to just improve things. So yeah, back in the day, it was like potato audio, bad quality, me talking about Doom 3, kind of thing. But I just kept evolving.
Yeah. It's the best way, isn't
Kept
it?
improving my game,
Well, I mean, one thing I love about your streams in particular, and I've never seen anyone else do it. You're going to say, "Oh yeah, these other people do it," but I personally have never seen anyone else do it. But I love your like shatter camera effect. It's just such a cool.
Oh yeah.
thing.
Who was it? Oh, who was it? I saw. Do you know Nico Hot?
No. Okay.
Very good streamer. He had like on his Twitter, he was like, "Oh, this is a thing that's been made. Have at it." And I was like, "And as a horror streamer, I could really lean into that with that thing because it's the TikTok filter, you know, like
Right.
the one that does the Junji Ito faces."
Right.
It's like,
Okay.
yeah, I could totally do that with horror stuff. But you know, I just love like retro media, so like VHS filters, stuff like that. You know, I just love that kind of stuff. It just adds a bit of dimension. Like I don't know. I'm one of these people where it's like I've always got to be plugging away at something. I've always got to be thinking of like a new thing to like add. But yeah, I love that stuff. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I like the interactivity as well because you can use the channel points to do it. You can trigger them using channel points, so it's like yeah, you can affect the vibe of the stream if you want. You know, VHS filters and I think one of them is fire. It's just like fire. Usually that is reserved for when Drones is doing bad at game. It's like everything's on fire. It's cool. I'll be fine.
Yeah. I was just speaking about that. I haven't actually asked you. So, how did you come up with your username?
It's no secret if you watch my stream, I'm a huge fan of David Lynch movies. Based way too much of my personality around the fact that I'm a fan. There's a movie that he made, which is my favorite one, called Lost Highway.
Oh, yes.
And, it's a really good movie. It's so goddamn good. It's really scary as well. And I was watching that one time, and the end credits were rolling, and I was just kind of sitting there, just kind of like just letting them pass. And in the score, it had like official music written by songs that were played by artists. But one of them stuck out to me because it's a really atmospheric movie that has a lot of like ambient soundscapes. One of the credits was literally like various ominous drones by I think it was the guy from Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, Trent Reznor.
Trent Reznor, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like various ominous drones by Trent Reznor, and I was like, for whatever reason, that pure like a laugh out of me. Just the fact that he was credited with just making these really scary noises.
Yeah.
I just thought when I sat down, like I need to think of a name. I want it to be fairly interesting and unique, and like the vibe of the channel in one name. You know, like here's the vibe of the channel. Here's the shtick.
Yeah.
Which actually didn't work out that way because I get a lot of people coming into the stream like, your name's Various Ominous Drones, but you're really chipper, talkative. And I'm like, right, maybe I need to workshop that. But yeah, I saw that and I just thought that's really funny. It suits what I want to kind of do with streaming. So the rest of this, I just picked that name, that's it.
Yeah. No, it caught my attention. I mean, I live Lost Highway. I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails fan. But I never knew that. Honestly, I never knew that existed.
Yeah, like I have the screen cap on my computer somewhere because I get that question a lot sometimes, and it's just easier to go like, yeah, if you watch the end credits,
Yeah.
Various Ominous Drones in like bright yellow writing, and I just thought it's like all of my interests intersected into one thing, like the David Lynch connection, ominous like, horror stuff. It's weird though. Everybody I talk to calls me something different based on that name. People call me VOD, Various, Drones. Nobody ever calls me Ominous, which is I guess, good,
Yeah.
that'd be weird. Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I didn't actually refer to your name in a while, and then I started to hear that you said you call your wife Mrs. Drones. So I was like, well, he's called Drones then, isn't he? So I just kept stunned really until I heard you say it. It's like, okay.
I never refer to myself in the third person, so it never comes up for me. Like,
Yeah.
it was a good name in hindsight though, because I've been able to spin like a lot of things from that, where it's like, right, well, you can join the drone zone, or like you could be the VOD squad. If I ever want to start podcasting, I can call it the Vodcast as well. It literally, I picked the name on a whim.
Yeah.
It has potential for when I need it to. Like, yeah, start the Vodcast. That'd be good.
But it's so funny though, isn't it? Usernames though. Like, I mean, my real name's John. It's not Johnny at all. But because I've spent so much time streaming recently, I find it weird when I hear my normal name now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, and then
how you like identify with a screen name. Like, it's one of those things where I guess like the older generation would not have that. It would be like, oh, you've got your name and that's it. Whereas it's like, yeah, man, we've all got like aliases now. We all have like second lives that we live on like the PC and stuff. Like, yeah. Well, if you were like out in the street and you shouted my real name, I'd probably just ignore it. But if you went like Drones, I'd be like, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like as well, just like
Highway is a good movie though.
It's a great movie. Oh, I love it. No,
the Bill Pullman like 10-minute saxophone scene is just, I love it.
Yeah.
I boot that up on YouTube sometimes just to watch. Like,
That should be your starting soon music, maybe. No, I
Even a
said
lot of
that.
those things, I have like a lot of like ideas, and at 90% of the time, it's like, will I get DMCA'd for this?
Yeah.
And a lot of the answers, unfortunately, probably. So yeah, I've had a lot of ideas that I've just kind of went like, I just don't want to get in trouble with anybody or get any kind of like thing, you know. So
No.
I'd love to. I'd love to. I'd love to have like just a 10-minute saxophone opening screen. That'd be great. That'd be grand.
It'd be. It'd challenge people, wouldn't it? To lurk.
Just stick
I think,
around, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Why has my
It'd be
viewership
like,
gone down?
oh my
I
God.
can't figure out what it is.
Oh my god. Oh. So you know, people are really committed if they stick around.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the saxophone solo.
Separates the wheat from the chaff, perhaps. No. Lurkers are amazing.
Need to work on that a bit more though. Like it's at the minute, I've got like a ton of ideas. I've honestly got like a notepad round here that's just filled with like things I need to do for the stream and like things that I need to make. But at the minute, I've just been kind of like so focused on like the no damage stuff and like just the active streaming that I've been really letting that fall by the wayside. So I need to kind of some of these ideas out of my head and into the stream. So
And I don't think we can not do this podcast and not mention steak bakes. We got to mention steak bakes. Where did that come from? And yeah, explain that.
I genuinely wish that I could show you my screen right now because you know you were like, oh, I'm running a little late. I was like, I'm at the computer. Yesterday we're playing RE4, and you know you've got the attaché case with like your guns and stuff. I was bored. I brought up one of my steak bake emote and I dropped it onto the screen, and I was literally like, "Oh look, my attaché case is filled with steak bakes." So yeah, I've been sitting on Photoshop before you went live, where I was like, "Yeah, I've got an attaché case and I'm just filling it with full of steak bake icons, and I'm gonna tweet that out." Like, yeah, like, oh man, it's weird how on like Twitch things can stick.
Yes.
Because I think it was a pure throwaway thing, where I was like, I just, I'm Scottish. I love steak bakes. They're great. They are not like the Swiss Army knife of food, but like, and man, they're just so tasty. That just stuck, and it's become a thing. It's become a thing that I'm known for.
Yeah.
Greg's ever want to just send me 3 stuff, then they are more than welcome to. That's my end game.
Yes.
End game is I want Greg's to just send me steak bakes all the time for free. That would be good.
Yeah,
It's a good goal to have.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Most people are like, I want to have like an Elgato sponsorship. It's like, no, I want to have a Greg sponsorship. I want.
Yeah.
You know what sucks? Did you see this a couple of weeks ago or a month ago? Greg's were doing like Primark were doing Greg sponsored clothing.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
I was gonna buy some because I thought it would be really funny if I just turned up to the stream one day, just like proper like Greg's headband, Greg's jersey, like Greg's gloves. Nope, everything sold out the day that it went live, so I didn't even get a chance. And it's all on eBay for like $1,000 now. So
it's like the little trainers, isn't it, or shoes or whatever they had. Little. But what I was about to say is, I think he should do like a Greg steak bake cosplay stream.
That'd be good. I saw that. There was a Greg's carpet. It was a steak bake carpet. Somebody sent me that. They were like, "Oh, you should buy this for the room, your stream room." It's like, yeah, it's like a carpet that looks like a steak bake.
Yeah.
I guess if I just cut like a hole in it, I could like have it as like some kind of steak bake poncho that I wear.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's weird though. At the minute, sadly, there's like a steak bake shortage in Scotland. A lot of the Tesco's and that just don't have any.
No, sorry.
I've only had like one in the past like 2 months. It's
oh man.
I'm pure like Jonesing for it. Where I'm like, oh, steak bake. It's weird how things kind of catch on stream. It's just like funny throwaway thing that I said, and now it's become like drones law. Like likes his steak bakes, and it's true.
Well, it felt
really true.
It goes nicely though to what my next question was in terms of, have you got any favorite streaming memories? Have you got any like moments that have happened in the last 2 years that really stand out?
I tell you one of my least favorite on-stream memories. Every time I forget to unmute.
Oh God,
man! It happened yesterday, and I was like, "I've been doing this for 2 years. How am I still doing this?" And it's like, I left myself on mute for like 2 minutes. Now, in terms of good memories, I did a 12-hour stream a year ago. I was really worried about it because 12 hours is a long time to be like live. I see people all the time who are just doing 12-hour streams every day, and I'm like, how do you do that? How do you stay consistent, like energy-wise? So I done a 12-hour stream where I played like a gimmick to it, where played the game for if I tried to play Resident Evil, if I beat it in 2 hours, clear, and if I don't beat it in 2 hours, it adds 10 minutes of Umbrella Corps time at the end of the stream. I played RE1, didn't beat it in 2 hours. RE2 did beat it, 3 didn't, whatever. At the end of the stream, at like the 11th hour, I had to play 40 minutes of Umbrella Corps, which it's not good.
No.
So that was fun. It was great. And like it was so I guess when you get into it, like yeah, the energy kind of stays with you the whole time. There was only maybe one time during that entire 12 hours where I started crashing. It's at the 10-hour mark where I'm like, oh, I'm starting to kind of like die here. But other than that, anytime I get a no damage run complete is just proper euphoria.
Yeah.
It's not even just the act of like getting it done. See when it happens and the chat just starts like rushing up, like, oh man, what a feeling!
Yeah.
So good. It's like legitimately the best like thing in the world.
Yeah.
But generally, just a lot of good memories. I've got like a really good community. Everybody's really supportive and cool, and we have good chat. So it's what you could really ask for, I guess. But yeah, those are the main ones. Just like getting challenge runs done is always a beautiful thing.
Yeah, man.
Some of the ones recently have been really good though. Like doing this kind of thing with Alien Isolation where I have like I've got sound alerts. Now I've started tailoring them to the game that I'm playing. So like I have a sound clip of the xenomorph like falling out of a vent. And you're playing Alien Isolation and you hear that noise, instant panic. So I've basically given my chat the keys to fuck with me. Which has been quite funny. We're doing that with The Last of Us right now as well. So I've got like a couple of clicker sound effects. You would think that your brain would be able to discern, or you'd at least go like, well, I'm in an area with no clickers. There's nothing here. But when you're kind of like in that stream mode, you're like, really does catch you out sometimes. So yeah, I've got some good memories of that recently. That's been fun.
That's awesome. So, is there any advice you'd think of to give to anyone in terms of who's thinking of streaming now in 2022? Because things change all the time, don't they? So,
I think I don't even know if I'd say it's advice. Like, people like to act like it's a one-size-fits-all scenario, and I've never found that to be true. Like, ever. Like, basically just take all of these disparate elements and you find what works for you. Like, I mean, I've been doing this 2 years, and I would say recently I've kind of found what I think is, like, what I want to be doing with the channel. So, I know that, like, a lot of people are like, succeed now or you're failing, and it's like, no, you've got to, like, grow and find a rhythm and find things that make you want to do it. I don't know if you've seen that tweet. I would not even want to bring it up, but like there's a tweet like yesterday, and it was basically like, if you don't hit affiliate after a week, you're basically doing it wrong. And it's like, I know that the click was probably just outreach clickbait, but it's like, that is so categorically untrue. Like, there is no one route to doing the thing here.
Yeah.
So, advice-wise, though, 2 pieces of advice that I would say for me are like universal. Have good audio. I had bad audio for a long time. Have decent audio, and that'll do wonders. And this one's weird because obviously everybody's different. Having a good schedule really helped me. Having like a relatively locked-in schedule done wonders for me. Not only just in terms of the stream, but like helped me really commit to it when I have like allotted time for it. The problem is, though, unfortunately, time is weird like that. So I guess the advice would be like, you can't be consistent, be like inconsistently consistent. Like, just try and find a day where you can lock it down and focus on it.
Yeah.
But other than that, just do what, like, take inspiration from other people, because take inspiration, but without like just doing what they do. I guess you could say like what's the example I was thinking of, where it's like, take all these different elements and you kind of just make it into like make it your own. Like if you write a book or something, it's like, well, are you actually going to write anything original? Probably not. But if you take a ton of elements for things you're inspired by, make something that's original. Same with streaming. Just probably have a favorite streamer. Emulate what works for them, discard what doesn't, and eventually you'll find your own like niche or voice. Bearing in mind as well, disclaimer: I am not an expert. I'm still
No,
trying to
but
find out what makes this thing work. Like
yeah, man.
I think that's all.
No,
No,
that
I'm just sick of people on Twitch telling people
yes.
like, I,
Oh
you're
yeah,
like, this is how you succeed. No, there is no answer. Like there are things that can help. Like
yes.
good schedule, good audio. I'm sick of people saying that there's like a universal truth to this. There's not.
Yeah, no,
Like,
that's like a big bugbear for me at the moment. Especially
yeah,
someone who does this podcast, who speaks to so many different streamers, who say so many different things. Literally, like you
yeah.
said, one size doesn't fit all. There's no black and white. This works, this doesn't. There's so many things you
That
can
was
say.
true. I would literally go onto Twitch. I would pick like one of the big streamers. I would copy what they do to a T, and then I would succeed. Would not happen ever. It never
Exactly.
will. You just gotta find your own voice, and then just keep doing what you're doing. Like because when things work, it's evident. Like it works.
Yeah.
So that's no. I try not to get bogged down in the Twitch like culture of it, if you know what I mean,
Yeah.
because it's just a lot of like cyclical conversations, a lot of like good advice and bad advice. I'm just gonna do my own thing and just see what works. You'll work it out eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, good audio. That's it. That's literally it.
Yeah.
Have good audio.
Awesome, man. Drones, thank you so much. It was such a great chat. Just one more time, do you want to plug where we can find you on socials?
I am. Oh my god. This is like asking somebody their phone number. Twitch.tv/VariousOminousDrones. Got a really, really chill community. We basically just shoot the shit. We have some good conversations. We have a laugh. We talk about a lot of horror movies and horror stuff and general things. It's really welcoming. And yeah, my content's really divided at the minute, like right down the middle. The first half of the week, I will do Resident Evil no damage stuff, which is so much fun and really rewarding. And then the second half, it's just a lot of general horror stuff. So all of my passion bases are covered. That's the things that I'm passionate about is covered. So yeah, that's basically it. Just we have a good time and stream good. I like it. I like streaming. Cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Like
Give him a follow. He's awesome. Honestly, thank you so much, man. That
yeah.
was so much fun.
Okay, sometimes like self-deprecating. Like I'm fine. Like that's like the one part of streaming that I'm never going to be good at because it's all like, oh, I'm like, my God, I just cannot talk about myself. Like you know what I mean? It's so awkward. We have a really good time. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love doing it. I'm going to keep doing it until we see what happens. Like that's my problem. I'm just YOLO in it. We're just gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
My next goal is to do RE1, 2, and 3 remake, no damage back to back, which that is gonna be a marathon and a half because doing one game in isolation, trying to do 3 of them in a row, especially when Nikolai is the final thing you have to deal with and he can kill you in one shot. That's the worst part of that run, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen.
RE3 remake, Nikolai can shoot you. So imagine me doing 3 games back to back, doing it no damage, and then Nikolai shoots me.
Yep.
It's more likely than you'd think. Thanks for having me, man. It's been a great conversation. Good laugh.
Thank you, man.
Loving
Thank
it.
you.
Actually loving it. Good questions as well. Apart from making me talk about Never Dead for 20 minutes, like I could have done without that, man. Don't want to talk about that shit.
Sorry. Thanks, man. Right, here we go. Another episode done, but thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.